So let's get the Grammys out the way first. The Grammys were this past week. I don't usually tune into the Grammys as much, but with the platform, I felt like it was my responsibility to check it out and to check out the winners. If you're already tired of hearing about Grammy talk, just fast forward a couple minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and we'll keep going with other stuff. But I think it's important that we kind of talk about how we felt about it.
From a cultural standpoint or just like an overall standpoint, I have two views of it.
Let's start with overall.
I think overall, as a production, I think the Grammys did really well this year. I actually tuned in from the start of the Grammys to the finish of the Grammys finish. I haven't done that in a long time.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't.
So
do that.
like, I watched for me. Now there were times in the middle I had to like, I switched to something else and then came back, but I used it almost like a commercial break. Like there were some performances I don't want to say didn't care for, but like I'm just unaware from who that performer was.
Right.
And so, but I like how they showcased the new artists. The new artists this year in that category, all of them had like monumental years, technically, from Shabuzi, of course, Doechii, from I was unfamiliar with Chapel Row.
I was too.
I was unfamiliar with her game, but I heard her game is different.
It's nice.
I know about Sabrina. Sabrina Carpenter. I'm actually a Sabrina Carpenter fan.
Really? I was not expecting this from Jay Shup. I was not.
I'm a little bit. I want you to. No, that's Billie Eilish song, but like with that espresso and the stuff she got, because I understand like songwriting. Like I understand what she is. Like we don't have true pop artists like we had back in the gap, like when we were growing up.
Yeah.
So like when we was growing up, we had the pop artists like the. I don't want to say like a Miley. I would say like, remember Kesha.
Lady Gaga,
Kesha. You had the Nelly Furtados.
Right. I was about to say, you can go back to Britney Spears.
You can go back to Britney.
How far you want to go.
You know what I'm saying? You have to, like, even groups, like you had the Pussycat Dolls. And
right.
That to me is like, that's true pop music. I think everything tries to be a fusion of hip hop. And she reminds me of like, even though there's an aura of like, I could dive in that lane a little bit as a visitor, but like she's really truly a pop artist, and I'm like, I respect it.
Okay.
So
I have to give her. I've heard little snippets, especially on social media, but I haven't really dove into her music that much. But I see that she's popping off and that she's going to be a star. It doesn't look like she's going anywhere anytime soon.
Not at all. And then the last person in that category, I don't want to not say them. It was like his name was like Benson something. The dude who did that front flip.
Okay.
He did a front flip performing. I was unfamiliar with his game in a sense of saying like, of course music-wise, but also when I started his performing, I said, oh, like he's got something. He's got the athletic ability. He's jumping all over the place. He could dance. I'm like, they can do something with this because it's talent. Yeah. And if he gets the right record and he knows how to perform, he's gone. So
okay, well, shout out to them. Shout out to the new performers. Of course, shout out to all the performers and the artists that weren't recognized. We'll get to y'all another time and another day. Yeah. Let's start with the big one, album of the year. Album of the year goes to none other than Beyoncé, Cowboy Carter. What are your thoughts about her winning album of the year?
I mean, I think finally, I feel like it makes sense.
Yeah,
it's almost like it's almost like when Denzel would get gypped for a long time on like the acting role, like best male actor like role, or best male actor, best male lead. I don't know what's the exact thing, but I know that specific award, that Oscar has only gone to like 4 black men all time, and it's him, Jamie, Sidney Poitier, Will Smith. Yeah. But it took him a minute to get that like award. I almost feel like it's the same thing with Beyonce in this case. I think she's deserving of it with Cowboy Carter. Was that my favorite Beyonce album? Not necessarily. Not like it was bad.
Not close.
No, but it was actually a good album. Like if I really go back and listen to the music.
Okay.
It's just I used to have like a thing where I just didn't care for country music, even though we were all from Texas and all. I'm such a hip hop guy. Like some country music used to always run together, but like if I give it a storyline listen, like no, it's nice. It's a really good album.
Okay.
And I think numbers, impact, and you got to look at all that. You got to look at the impact.
I hate it.
you got to look at the impact of the album. I think it was deserving. It was deserving of album of the year this year.
I think one. I'm glad you went first. I think it's deserving. First of all, I love Beyonce. She's our queen. She can do no wrong. So congratulations, Beyonce, Cowboy Carter. I'm happy that you got that Grammy, and you deserve much more Grammys than you already have.
She got like 36.
She got like 30. Well, she never won Album of the Year. I'll say that. Yeah. That was the one that she kept.
Yeah, this is like the complete. Like if she stopped making music today, which she's not, her career is complete. Okay. Because she's got that. That was the one that she wanted.
Well, that's great that you got the one that you wanted. With that being said, do I think that was the album of the year? I don't think it was the top 10 albums of the year. And
what was in the what were the other albums in the category?
I know Billie Eilish was there. I didn't recognize a lot of them that were on the album of the year. I think Billie Eilish album is better than Cowboy Carter. But also,
Billie Eilish had some smashes this year.
Yeah,
that song I just was singing like I want you to stay.
Right.
Do. Yeah, that was a smash.
Full of melody, storytelling, raw emotions. I mean, it was a great album, start to finish. The Beyonce one, I'm not a country fan, so that's why I wanted to get your opinion on it because it's hard for me to get into it. Whenever I go to Cowboy Carter, it's like it's a struggle for me to really get through the whole album. But it's Beyonce, so they give it to her, and like I said, I'm okay with it. It's just I feel like it was almost like you said, them making up for lost time. If you're Beyonce, you're the queen. You probably should have been had an album of the year. So here you go.
But I also raised you this too. I could almost see the writing on the wall as well when she got the best country album Grammy, because she was shocked when she got that.
Right.
Like that was genuine. That wasn't acting. And we've seen, no offense, Beyonce, we've seen you act before. Like that was
not her strong suit.
Nah, yeah, like
better other things.
Yeah, better, amazing. You're the queen, and we're in artistry. Mm-hmm. So that was a genuine reaction.
Yeah,
genuine reaction when she was shocked. So once I think she got that, I'm like, it's something else on the way. Mm-hmm. And that was leaning towards that album of the year. Okay. So once you got the country album of the year, which is most of the time, like, they're not even considering someone that looks like you and I,
right,
even in that category, in previous years or whatever the case may be. So she got that one. I don't want to say it makes sense for her to get the other one, but I'm not shocked that she got album of the year.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at it either. I mean, you know, I think if it was someone else, I would have been a little salty. But since it's Beyonce, and that's literally crush / auntie / whatever it is, depending on the year. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I love it, and I'm not gonna be mad at it.
No, I do raise you a question about this project.
Mm-hmm.
With this award, what were the albums that you thought, besides Billie Eilish, that was better than Beyonce's album? That was either in the category or just in general.
In general, I like NxWorries with Y Lord, Anderson .Paak's album. I like that much more than Beyonce's album. That was one of my albums of the year and one of my R&B albums of the year specifically.
But that they didn't play the game though.
I know, but that's why I don't really love the Grammys, because I know there's a game being played.
There's a game.
There's a number, and there's sponsors, and there's record labels.
There's marketing, and I think like we can get. I just had a whole hour-long conversation earlier about this, but like there's a whole like marketing ploy that people do, not just for the Grammys. Yes, it is for the Grammys too, a lot of it, but like Beyonce, I don't want to say she played the game, but she is the game. Mm-hmm. She knows the game. And like there's certain, like Anderson .Paak, as dope as an artist that he is, and as great as the album that it is, that's gonna end up being like a cult classic album. It's not gonna be like when him and Bruno did the sweep at the Grammys, where they played the full game when they dropped that album. It's a little different.
But I just feel I agree with you. Mm-hmm. I just wish that award shows, including the Grammys, but I don't want to isolate them. I just feel like award shows, it should be more subjective of, what does this album sound like? If you play that album from start to finish and then play Beyonce album after that start to finish, I think you're going to have a hard time finding a lot of people that would say the Beyonce's album better. That's my opinion. But once again, I don't want to keep staying on Beyonce because I love her. But you know that's definitely one of the albums I feel like was better. But shout out to Anderson .Paak. Shout out to NxWorries because they did win best progressive R&B album. So they did get a Grammy for that. I didn't even know that was a genre. I didn't know that was an award, but they won best progressive R&B album of the year. So shout out to Anderson .Paak. He got him one.
Okay.
Progressive.
Yeah, it's the word progressive that's effing me up. But I mean,
yeah, I guess they're trying to create a lane for the contemporary R&B. One, I'm happy with more awards because for too long, a lot of these people were overlooked. So I'm happy that they're like making the R&B section a little longer, making the hip hop section a little longer. Do they need to change the names and redefine some things? Probably.
But you know what? I think I know why they call it progressive because there's a traditional R&B sound, and that album is like, where do you put it? Because it's not hip hop per se. Like it is, but it's not aura essence of like rap.
Right.
He's not really rapping. He's singing.
Yeah.
He's singing the whole album.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess when you got to figure out that between lane, which I think, it's almost like, I don't want to say the Bryson Tiller Award, but like it's almost like the trap. This is almost like when people were trying to figure out what trap soul was. Like he's singing, but it's like some thump beats, and it's not R&B, but it's not rap. It's like almost like what it is. So I see what they're trying to do there.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. Once I talked it out, I'm not as mad at it now that I think about it.
Yeah, more love is always great. And there's a million genres in R&B, so we're good with that. Also, I'm gonna give a couple more shout outs, then we're gonna get to Yo Boy, who had a clean sweep. But before we get there, shout out to SZA as well. She won best R&B song with Saturn. That's a beautiful song. I felt like they got that one right, so I was really happy about that. I got a couple snubs I want to talk about, or do you want to get into? Oh, shout out to Doechii. Obviously, she killed it last year. Was she the best performance that you saw out of all the performances, or were there someone to note that was better than her as far as from a performance aspect?
I think she was the best performer. I think the best moment was when the Benson dude did a freaking front flip off a piano onto the stage. But like as like the overall performance, I think she was she was the best performer.
Okay, yeah, they're doing a good job with her over there at TDE.
Now, do you think this was the conversation earlier? Do you think Doechii had the best rap album?
No. No, I don't. But I mean, I don't have a vote, so I'm just over here on my couch. No, I don't think Doechii had the best rap album. As far as the nominees, who was highest on my list was Common with the Auditorium. So I was happy that even got nominated because I thought, but I guess they do nominate. But
so that's the album you would have went with?
That's my highest off of the list. They didn't have my list on there, but the only person from my list that was on there was Common. Doechii was on there. I split my, and I said I'm gonna try not to do this year, but I split my male rap and my female rap this year. So Doechii was on my top rap list as well. But if I had to say overall, I mean, I listened to that Common album more than almost any album last year.
This is a different topic. I'm not going to stay on this topic long, but he doesn't get enough like credit for like his role in hip hop that he's played. But that's another topic for another day because I think his B album is a classic album. But to go back to the Grammy conversation that we're having, the conversation I had earlier, shout out to my guy Mackie. When he was talking about it, I said Doechii's impact of her album made sense why she won the Grammy. Do I think it's the best album? Creatively, yes. Creatively, out of that list, creatively, yes. Impact-wise, impact-wise, it was heavy. But the We Don't Trust You album, I'm gonna be
album on my list. Yeah,
it was fire. One, do I think it was better than Doechii's? Not necessarily head and shoulders over it, but what I will say is, without We Don't Trust You, you don't get half the moments for the rest of the year without that Like That verse. And I'm not just trying to give this like, and I'm a Kendrick fan. That's why I will talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But also, like, not even trying to just ride that coattail of him, but like anything connected with him after that verse took off.
Yeah.
Took off. Like, artist-wise, anything connected with him took off in 2024. And Doechii was one of the people that was connected. He shouted her out. He had her in the Cash App commercial.
That's a fact.
Like, and all that's a marketing game, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I even think, like, this is the Logic conversation that we had. Not Logic as an artist, but this is the conversation me and my partner Mackie had earlier. I was like, yo, I think TDE took the whatever Grammy budget they thought about giving the Schoolboy Q. Hey, I don't really want it. I don't want it. Put that marketing play behind Doechii because they all team players. She's a star. She is a star. She's an amazing artist. And let her play that game. Mm-hmm. And Doechii played that game and they won. And rightfully so. So like I'm kind of like saying like, yeah, she was deserving of the Rap Album of the Year award for the Grammys. Mm-hmm. But just like we was talking about earlier, she played the game. She played the Grammy game and won it. And if you want to talk about creatively, as out of all those albums, the creative albums are winning right now. The creative people are winning right now. Tyler, the Creator, Chromacopia, that's winning right now. The Kendricks that's pushing the line of creativity, that's winning right now. Doechii, when anything that's kind of like we're redefining the box of what this hip hop thing is winning right now. And like the old school, just I'm gonna make a hard trap album, that's not winning because that's not moving people anymore. And I think that's where the future We Don't Trust You album, as much as it was a banger and had so much impact for the rest of the year, that's why I didn't do any Grammy things, because it's like it didn't, this is my opinion.
No, you bring up a good point, especially about impact, because I think that's something that they consider a lot. Obviously, I don't know how the Grammy voting goes, and we don't have to get too deep into that, but I do believe that they're looking hard into what's the talk of the town and what's sparking people's mind. So I think you're right with that creativity that can put it to the top. But make no mistake, that Doechii album was amazing. So I don't want to come off like I'm not saying it was good, because that Doechii album was really good. Her Tiny Desk was really good. Her stage presence is really great. So
she played the game.
She played the game. And
the game is supposed to be played. And I think that's the thing. It's not, all my artists out there, it's okay to play the game. Now, it's not okay to be fake. That's not what I'm saying. Because a lot of people associate the game with being fake. No, just in general, they made a play, a 4-month breakdown, marketing rollout, rebrand. We're going to put her on these platforms. We're going to have this amount of posting on her socials. They actually had a similar plan with Schoolboy Q. Now he rolled out his album. Yeah. And now he had his content going. And how he was doing his thing. Like, when people make a plan just in general, like, and they execute it like that, you got to give them all praise and to the successes. No matter how much you feel. I know a lot of people was like, well, she only did 11,000 first week sales. I mean, that makes sense because I'm going to be real. Doechii had a hit a while back, but like, was she cold? No. But was she on fire when that project dropped? No.
No, she had to build that.
Yeah, she wasn't on fire. Like, no one was crazy checking for that project until, like, she started dropping, like, the boom, bap, boom, boom, like that, she started dropping the clips and started marketing it. And then that's when it got scorching hot. So, to all them people that's trying to downplay that girl because of some first week's numbers and trying to like discard her and what she got going on. I do like the opinion that you said, like, it wasn't your favorite album. That's cool. That's a good opinion to have. You know what I'm saying? Just on it, just in general. But do I think she still was deserving of that Grammy?
Absolutely.
150%.
Yeah. And people got to stop looking so hard at first week numbers anyway. Like, it's okay to build a record. It's okay if your album, I'm talking to the big stars right now, if your album doesn't go 200, people got lives, they're not always running to it the first week. And sometimes you just got to kind of build that hype around it.
Right.
And I think that's okay. Like, it's not all about the numbers. Sometimes a record can grow over the year, if it's timeless music, it can grow for the next decade.
I'm going to be real, first week sales do not make a good album. A lot of people don't understand first week sales is like you've been anticipating this album for so long, and then like you go and listen to it, and a lot of people listen to it because it's popular.
Right.
You're already a popular artist. You're guaranteed a bunch of numbers for your first week sales. Now watch your second week and third week sales is the telling tale, because now people have a chance to listen to it to see if they rock with it or not.
Are
You
they
can
coming
make
back to it?
yeah. Is it even like re-listenable? Like,
Right.
are you listening to this album again? You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, it could be like first week's numbers is out the box, and then it's the booth after that. It could be crazy.
Right.
Like, it could go downhill.
Yeah, it definitely can. A couple snubs that I did see before we get to K. Kenny. First of all, Leon Mutt not being nominated for anything, not a song, not the album. Maybe it was too recent, and I don't know if it's eligible for the next Grammys or how that exactly works, but I thought that was an amazing R&B album. I thought it would at least be a song off of there that was best R&B song if it wasn't for best R&B album.
Who's Leon signed to?
You tell me.
He signed under Ty Dolla $ign. Ty Dolla $ign, I don't know his major label he signed under, but the way
So you gotta play the game. You gotta play the game. I hate it. I hate it. Do you think he should, without being in the game, without the marketing, without the pumping and the numbers that go involved, do you think he had one of the best R&B albums?
Yes.
Okay, then I move on. Along on the same page.
We're here on that.
Okay.
So as a creator, I understand it, but on a business level, I'm also starting to understand and I hate that because it kind of pulls the curtain back on some things.
Right. Well, here's your hood Grammy. Like, shout out to Four Bats too. But here's your hood Grammy, Leon, because you definitely deserve it. The only other one I really just wanted to shout out was Metro Boomin. How he's not nominated for Producer of the Year is crazy, but I know those games as well. And I'm looking at the list of the Producers of the Year, the nominations.
Who'd they give that to? Alchemist?
They gave it. No, they didn't give it to Alchemist. Let me see. That's a good question.
Yeah, who'd they give that to?
That's a good question.
Because I'm gonna be real. Metro easily should have been on that list.
He should have been like, my thing for stuff is like, my person doesn't have to win, but when it's the best, they should be on there.
I know Mustard should be on that list. Mustard's got to be on that list.
I don't know if I remember. Let me just type it in instead of looking.
Hey guys, while JB types in and figures that out, I just want to let y'all know. I hope y'all having a great day. I'm just killing time real quick.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of Four Bats though,
Olivia Rodrigo.
I don't know who that is. I just want to give a shout out to Four Bats. I think Four Bats is another guy when you talk about marketing plans work for music, and he had the music to match the marketing plan. Shout out to him. That's just a random shout out.
Shout out to him. Shout out to
who won? Olivia Rodrigo. I don't want to put smut on her game, but like, am I familiar? No. But if she's won Producer of the Year for the Grammy, she must have produced some heat.
The last name is Negro, so I think I got the first name.
No, it's not. I'll walk off right now if the last name of that person is Negro. Is it like
Daniel Negro? But I'm probably saying it wrong. Not Negro. Daniel Nigro. Daniel Negro.
Nigro. Negro.
He's
Nigro.
Nigro.
Nigro. Daniel Nigro.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we pronounce your name right because it is Black History Month, so we just want to say Negro just in general.
Yeah, I don't see the actual list of the nominees right now, and I'm not going to look too hard to find it. But Metro Boomin was not nominated for Producer of the Year. I think that's crazy. I think he went absolutely insane this year, but we don't trust you. We still don't trust you, too. He also produced a whole bunch of other stuff, and I don't think they have appreciation for maybe that trap music that we're talking about and how complicated it can be to produce some of those beats that they may see as just, that's for rap.
I'm going to be real, bro. Like, the sound of music is changing. It's changing right now. Like, hard songs, like, they not getting as much love as they used to.
Yeah,
like, you had a song like Lil Baby, like Freestyle. That was like an anthem back in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, in 2025, it's not doing the same. it's not doing the same numbers.
Yeah.
It's like if it dropped this year. Like the sounds is changing.
It's not, but that's okay. I'll get off my high horse. I'm gonna shout them out. If they don't shout them out, I'm gonna shout them out. And one day, me and Shep gonna be sitting here, and we gonna be not sitting here, but we gonna be sitting somewhere, standing somewhere, and we gonna be giving out our own awards, and we gonna give out the Hood Grammys. It's gonna have a better name. That's just workshopping, but it's gonna have a better name. We gonna give our own awards, and if we were doing that this year, Metro Boomin, you would have been at least nominated, if not winning.
Yeah, what he said.
So let's talk about someone who he produced for.
Gotcha.
None other than Kendrick Lamar. The clean sweep, 5 Grammys for Kendrick Lamar this year.
Get the broom out!
Kendrick
Get the broom out!
Record of the year, song of the year, best music video, best rap song, and best rap performance goes to Not Like Us.
Kung Fu Kenny, K. Dot, Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Duckworth. Yesterday, somebody tried to whack out my mural.
Yeah. 5 Grammys is a lot for one song, especially for that song being a diss song with the lyrics that it has. Have you heard? Obviously, we've all heard that song a bunch, but I went back and listened to the lyrics, and I was just like, this is the song that won 5 Grammys that's going in on Drake for 3 minutes.
What take do you want me to have on it? Like
You can have whatever take you want.
I have my opinions, of course, but you want me to talk about the Grammy wins, or you want to talk about like how you think we even got here? Like,
well, we're gonna get into the Drake and K. Dot. We're going there next, so we're going there in like 2 seconds.
Okay, but
Now,
I'll talk about the Grammys.
He won 5 Grammys. Congratulations, first and foremost. Congrats, you deserve it. It's an amazing song. It tore up the world. It tore up the culture. It tore up my favorite rapper / artist, Drake. So it did its job. You got your Grammys. Congrats. But 5 Grammys? God damn. What's going on?
So if I take the Drake part out of it, which a lot of people like have a hard time doing because it is a diss song. It is essentially about Drake. But I do think one of the hardest things I think artists can do is to make an anthem. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people think like, yeah, like it's about Drake. It's such about him. It is. It came out of a place of like anger and like, yo, like a diss. Like you said this, you taking it there, I'm taking it farther. Like
right.
It did come out of that place. But I do think when you catch one, it's the beat, it's the magic of the beat, it's the magic of the hook. And the hook, what he's really good at, is making a hook that's infectious and anthem. Like, all right, no one talks about the all right hook. I'm fucked up, you fucked up, but if God got us, then we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. And that structure of that song, that hook that song came out, 2015? Mm-hmm. That became the anthem of 2020.
Yeah.
That hook was motivating, it was inspiring, it was the marriage of the beat in this. And this, the same thing. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Which the hook has nothing to do. It's Drake related, but like the hook is just a good hook. If you take the verses away, in the marriage of the beat, in the marriage of the hook, it's catchy. It's an anthem, and it's something that your kids can listen to on a hook level. I'm not talking about the whole song,
right?
And I'm talking about just it was played at the presidential like rallies, like. Yes, the first parts of it, Mr. Drizzy Drake Rogers. Mm-hmm. But then when you get to the hook, it's an anthem of like trying to really just say like, hey, you know, other people that aren't from this culture, they really aren't.
Right.
They're not like us. Mm-hmm. You know, and you could take that in your life and interpret that in whatever they go. Even like humble, sit down.
Yeah, it's relatable.
Be humble.
You can sing it. You can apply it to your life, your circumstance.
Anytime he's made like a one of those, and he got a couple of them. He got 3 now.
Yeah.
Even maybe 4 if you're gonna count how TV Off like goes in the near future. But like he got 3.
Yeah.
He's got 3 right now. You know, you got I just said it. All right. Not Like Us, and then Humble. Like those are the ones where like the hooks they're relatable on all topics. So That alone gets him. That alone would have got him a Grammy. Now
That alone?
I'm a steer. This is how you get to 5. You had the 2 biggest artists of the year. Hip hop was anticipating this for a long time, but the world also of music, forget just rap, ran through and was with these 2 guys were juggernauts in music in totality.
Yeah.
Drake has taken himself out of Grammy runs, so like Drake would probably have just as many Grammys as Kendrick. He didn't take himself out of the conversation of them. And I honestly think with them, they kind of trade off years. Like when Drake is dropping, he's getting the praise.
Right.
When Kendrick is dropping, he's getting the praise.
Yeah, they're both the titans in the game.
Yeah, and when they both had their battle, music stopped. No one, even pop artists, no one is dropping anything, letting these 2 juggernauts cook for a month, for like 3 weeks to a month. And so I think that energy from that going into Not Like Us, the music industry had all the eyes on it, and when it was a smash hit, because Back to Back got nominated for Grammys too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for a Grammy whenever it came out.
Okay.
As well. But going into all that, and just to kind of sum it up, I can easily see how this song got all the rap categories because of the impact that it had.
Right, and that's what I was going to as far as the if you take, that's why I can't say alone. Obviously, you made great points that song is good without any Drake reference because of the beat, because of the hook, and how contagious it is. But if you take away the content of what was going on at the time and how hard he's going in on Drake, then that doesn't do the numbers it does. That doesn't have the impact it does. That doesn't create this whole cultural phenom of we hate Drake, West Coast all top, they not like us. That whole friction is what boosted it up to the spotlight in my opinion.